In the aftermath of the Second World War, the world emerged from the ashes of conflict, only to find itself teetering on the brink of a new kind of warfare, a Cold War. The United States, representing the ideals of democracy and capitalism, stood in stark opposition to the Soviet Union, the bastion of communism and authoritarianism. What ensued was not a traditional war of tanks and soldiers, but a battle of ideologies that would shape the course of history for decades to come. The Cold War was characterized by an ever-present sense of fear and suspicion. Both superpowers, armed with nuclear arsenals capable of unimaginable destruction, engaged in a dangerous game of brinkmanship, each testing the other's resolve while tiptoeing along the edge of catastrophe. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction, MAD, underscored the fragile balance. Any direct confrontation could potentially lead to global annihilation. At the heart of the conflict were the competing interests of the two superpowers, played out on the stage of global politics. From the Berlin airlift to the Cuban Missile Crisis, from the Korean War to the Vietnam War, the Cold War manifested itself in a series of proxy conflicts fought in distant corners of the world. Each side sought to expand its influence and prevent the other from gaining strategic advantage, often supporting opposing factions in civil wars and regional disputes. Amidst the geopolitical maneuvering and military posturing, there were moments of defiance and resistance. From the Hungarian Revolution of 1956 to the Prague Spring of 1968, people behind the Iron Curtain rose up against oppression, demanding freedom and self-determination. These uprisings, though brutally suppressed, highlighted the underlying tensions within the communist bloc and the universal desire for liberty. As the Cold War dragged on, both sides began to realize the futility of perpetual conflict. Leaders like Mikhail Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan recognized the need for dialogue and diplomacy, paving the way for a thaw in relations. Gorbachev's policies of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring, sought to reform the Soviet system, while Reagan's willingness to engage in arms reduction talks led to significant agreements such as the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces, INF Treaty. The Cold War may have ended with the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, but its legacy continues to shape the world we live in today. From ongoing tensions between nuclear powers to the resurgence of authoritarian regimes, the echoes of the Cold War are still felt in the geopolitics of the 21st century. The ideological divide may have softened, but the strategic rivalries and the lessons learned from that era remain relevant. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the defining conflicts of the 20th century. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on history's most captivating stories. Until next time, stay curious.